Hello everybody, welcome to a video by AJ Agarwal, CEO of Alumnify. And today what I want to talk to everybody about is really demystifying press. And for companies, I've seen this many times where companies come to us at Alumnify and they say, hey, we really need help getting exposure in press, and nothing that we've been doing is worth it. And so I want to talk today about how we at Alumnify have gone about press, how we've been able to get into outlets like Forbes, Inc., TechCrunch, and help tons of our clients get into these outlets, and basically our system. And one of the goals today is to really answer and help solve the problems that many of our current clients and prospects that we talk to have when they work with traditional PR or marketing firms. And that's what I'm going to go over today. So the first thing to understand is getting press is just like getting customers, and you really need to adapt that mindset if you're going to go out and get press. And what I mean by that is similar to a sales funnel. Essentially what you're trying to do with press is sell writers on your business, on your idea, and really get them to believe that there's value in your company or product. It's a very similar way to how we get customers. Now with customers, you have different strategies. You have inbound, you have outbound. If you've watched any of the videos that we've put out previously at Alumnify, you know we're a very inbound focused company in terms of getting customers, and we believe in a similar process when it comes to getting press. So you look at the traditional PR approach. So when you approach a PR firm, this is typically their strategy, and they charge tons of money for this. They work with you to create this amazing, wonderful pitch about how your company is so great, it's the next Facebook, Twitter, etc. They then spam a bunch of writers that they don't really even know with this amazing pitch that they've spent tons of your money on to craft. They usually get no response from the first time they do it, so they ask for more money and they send that out to more writers. Sometimes, after thousands and thousands of pitches, a writer from a lower tier outlet will respond and they'll message them. And then finally, after tons of money and tons of hours, you might get a story. And even if you do get a story, chances are it's not on a very high profile site. And if it is on a high profile site, it's one of those articles that comes out, you see maybe a spike in business, and then it dives off. Now, the best way to actually get PR and to use it to your advantage is to use it in story form. So when we work with clients at Alumnify, we don't use a business model where we sell based on articles that we get into. We don't believe in that approach. Instead, we look longer term and actually try to work with our clients over longer periods of time. And the best way to do that is to get continuous stories, to build a story through PR. And the traditional PR approach really isn't built for that. It's more of an outbound way to get attention. If you think about it, it's very similar to outbound sales. For an outbound sales force, what they're going to do is cold call, cold email, spam a bunch of prospects, basically a spray and pray method where they'll reach out to a bunch of customers hoping one picks up the phone. It takes a lot of time and really doesn't help build a brand at all. Most customers hate being reached out to like that. And that's a similar feeling that writers get when you have a PR firm just mass message them. Instead, at Alumnify, we use inbound marketing to get press. And that's what I really advise for clients and any company looking to get exposure and really ramp up marketing. The way you do that is first by blogging. So the first thing that we believe at Alumnify is to get press, you need to add value. And the first way to do that is to make sure that you have a blog. So when we start working with companies that reach out to us, our first step is to identify, do they have a blog, and do we feel the blog is really optimized to help get SEO and exposure? If it's not, we start there. So just like an inbound marketing strategy for customers where you focus on articles, infographics, ebooks, etc., we do the same thing with blogging with our clients. So essentially what they do is they develop their own library of content, which outside of getting exposure pulls customers in. What it does is it builds this kind of educational library of all of these articles that they're producing. And educational articles help not only with press, it helps get customers, etc. And the best thing about it is you build a fortress of this content. So we'll start writing a blog for our clients, or we'll work with their existing blog and amplify it. And all of this builds this huge fortress of content. We've talked about this in previous videos, but essentially what that does is it really turns your organization not just in a way to get press and to utilize it, but it turns your organization into a content-driven lead and brings customers in for you. So after we've done that, then we go out and reach out to writers. So the first step that you want to do if you're going to go out and want to get exposure is to first focus internally and build an amazing blog. Really ramp up the content. And then after you've done that, reach out to writers on social media. I think in a lot of ways, email is still very relevant, but when it comes to PR, Twitter, Facebook, those outlets are going to be far better because writers get thousands of pitches every single day sometimes. Like for me, as a writer for Forbes Inc. Entrepreneur, I have over 100 pitches that come into my inbox every single day. On Twitter, I have less than 10 people reach out to me every day looking for stories. So you want to go where people aren't. So really look to social media. And by following the system, we have a completely different pitch. This is an example message of what we send to prospective people that we reach out to for our clients. This is a rough example. You can edit it out. But let's go with this. So you say, hey, writer's name, I see you write a lot about higher education. We've recently published a relevant blog post on the subject, and we think it'd be a great fit to reference in your column. What are your thoughts? So now you look at that and you can compare it to the traditional PR approach. And here's how they're different. In this, the first thing that you'll see is we've done our background research on the writer. So I don't believe in the spray and pray method for PR. I think to actually develop a strong relationship with writers, you need to do your background research and know what they write about. And in this message, we capture that by that higher education part. You then look to the next line where it says, we've recently published a relevant blog post. So relevant blog posts, that's the heart of inbound marketing. We're not selling them on our company because chances are they've seen other companies who are better than ours. Instead, we're saying we've provided valuable content that you might want to check out. And then the third line is we think it'd be a great fit for you to reference in your column. So notice in that last line, we don't ask the writer to make our company a feature story. A lot of times, you need to develop stronger relationships with the writer before they're willing to do that. Instead, we ask them to first start the relationship just by looking at the blog post and seeing if they can fit it in to their next article. Now what that does is it helps build SEO, but more importantly, it helps us get in with the writer. And as we go along, and as we continue to develop that relationship, we can work up to a feature story. So the heart and soul of this is really first focusing on providing value, just like we do in sales, and then after that, using that relationship to get press and PR. So today, that's kind of a high-level overview of a strategy that we use at Alumnify and what I recommend for our clients. In the next video, we'll focus more on that content piece, how to amplify that, and how we can really master that so the blog posts that we pitch to writers are really optimized. Any questions, please email me at aj@alumnify.co or message me on Twitter. Please, please, please tell us any feedback or questions that you have, and I look forward to talking to you on the next video. Thank you, guys.